You know, what if I told you that most of the decisions you think are so rational are actually being controlled by hidden emotions? Well, in this explainer, we're pulling back the curtain on the most complex and fascinating subject in the universe, us.
I mean, really think about it. That career move you made, that big purchase, that person you decided to trust. What if the logic you used was just a really good story you told yourself to justify a gut feeling?
Now, I know that sounds a little dramatic, but stick with me, because in the next few minutes, you're gonna get a framework that's basically a decoder for human behavior, and it will fundamentally change how you see yourself and, well, everyone around you. And the answer to that huge question we just asked, it lies right inside this incredible book. Greene literally spent years decoding the patterns of our behavior, and we're going to boil down some of his most powerful insights right here, right now.
So first things first, we have to look inward. Because before we can even begin to understand anybody else, we have to face the hidden biases that are running our own minds. So let's start with a really common trap we all fall into. Come on, we've all been there, right? You get swept up by someone's passion, their absolute certainty about something. It feels so compelling, it's almost hypnotic. But why? Why are we so vulnerable to this? Well, Greene gives it a name, the conviction bias. It's this little mental shortcut our brain loves to take. The thinking goes, if someone is loud and confident and passionate, well, they must be right, yeah? We mistake the performance of certainty for the actual presence of truth. And this is where it gets dangerous. This bias isn't just some harmless little quirk. It's a huge vulnerability. It's basically a backdoor into our decision-making that can be exploited by anyone who understands it.
That's a pretty scary thought, isn't it? If we can't always trust our own judgment, then trying to figure other people out just seems impossible. But what if there was a language that people speak without even realizing it? A language that can't lie.
Okay, so how do we tune into this language to can't lie? In this next section, we're gonna learn how to stop listening so much with our ears and start listening with our eyes to see what's really going on. To understand this, you have to hear the incredible story of Milton Erickson. When he was just 17, he was struck down by polio, and it left him almost completely paralyzed, stuck in a chair. All he could do was watch his family. And in that forced silence, he started noticing all these little contradictions. His sisters would say yes, but their bodies would be screaming no. He learned to read the tension in a neck, the slight hesitation in a voice, the smile that never quite reached the eyes. He learned the second, unspoken language.
And this is where it gets so practical for us. People are constantly leaking their true feelings. You know, that sarcastic joke someone makes at your expense? It's usually just hostility wearing a really flimsy mask. That over-the-top praise from someone with totally empty eyes, that could be a sign of envy. Just remember this, the words are the performance, the body is the reality.
Okay, so we can learn to spot the tells in most people, but we've all met that person who seems flawless. They're perfectly charming, they always say the right thing. How in the world do you judge the true character of someone who has mastered the art of wearing a mask?
And that brings us to a really crucial skill, judging character. The secret isn't about catching one single tell. It's about observing patterns over time, especially when the pressure is on.
Greene uses this wild example of Bob Haldeman, who was Nixon's chief of staff. In a formal interview, he came across as this brilliant, devoted guy. But then one day, over a missing golf cart of all things, he exploded into a vicious, hysterical rage at his staff. That single, unguarded moment revealed more about his real character than any interview ever could.
So here's the key takeaway. Character is revealed under stress and with power. Pay way less attention to how people treat their equals or their bosses, and watch very, very closely how they treat people with less power than them, or how they act when things go wrong. Because power doesn't corrupt, it reveals.
So far, we've focused on observation, looking at ourselves and at others. But what about action? What happens when it's not another person holding you back, but your own life, your own situation? What do you do when you feel completely and utterly stuck? This leads us to what Robert Greene considers the most powerful law of them all. It's the one tool, the one freedom that no one can ever take away from you, no matter what your circumstances are. Just take the story of the writer Anton Chekhov. His childhood was brutal, filled with daily beatings from his father that left him feeling worthless. Then, when his father went bankrupt and fled, leaving him behind, Chekhov was totally trapped. But right there, In that moment of desperation, he had this profound realization. His miserable circumstances hadn't changed, but his perspective, his attitude towards them, could. He chose to find his freedom not in his environment, but inside his own mind.
Okay, so let's close that big loop. Right at the beginning, I asked you, what if your most rational decisions are secretly being controlled by your emotions? Well, the answer lies in the toolkit we've just built together. That controlling feeling? That's the unconscious bias, that emotional pull that you mistake for pure logic. And here's your toolkit to fight back. Number 1, master your emotions. Start by just admitting you have biases, like that conviction bias we talked about. 2, become an observer. Learn to listen with your eyes and decode that secret unspoken language. 3, judge character over time. Don't trust the mask. Look for the patterns that show up under pressure. And finally, and this is the most powerful one, choose your attitude. Realize that your perspective is the one thing you are always in control of. This toolkit is your key to seeing the world as it actually is, not just as your emotions want it to be.
Look, this isn't just some academic knowledge for you to store away. This is a practical guide for navigating the entire social world. So the question now isn't what these laws are, it's what are you going to do with them?
Understanding human nature is the foundation, but the next, crucial step is understanding how these laws are used every single day in persuasion and strategy. So if you want to learn how to both spot and use these principles, make sure you subscribe, because our next explainer is going to dive right into the art of influence. We'll see you there.